Alright, we're back. I had a crash, and then I recovered, and then I did some modifications of equipment, and I have no idea where we left off. But anyways, I'm Tex. Hey, how's it going? You probably knew that. That's fine. So, what to talk about while playing video games? I couldn't tell you, because I largely don't know what I'm doing in life, but that's okay. There's a lot of stuff I've been coming to terms with, though. Don't worry, I'm not going to treat you guys like my therapist. But there is an interesting thing to think on. I've been playing so many games for so long, I've forgotten how long I've played them. Like for Space Station 13, for instance, I've been a fixture in that community and game for like 14 years in recording. And then probably another 3 or 4 years before that where I didn't have a channel and just played it in its early days. But I didn't play it as much in the early days, so not trying to say I was a daily spaceman before R4407 or anything, which for those of you who don't know, that's the big branch that kind of made Space Station 13 happen, the Goon public branch. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of weird. I think it's kind of weird. But, yeah. Not sure what sort of legacy I'm going to leave, but hail Cargonia. Actually, that's a terrifying thought. Cargonia's my fault. Oh, no. See, all right, look. I will admit this. I didn't invent Cargonia. The idea of Cargo being its own sort of nefarious, Ferengi-ish thing was always there. I saw it before I started recording. It was always there, doing basically Ferengi stuff from the better episodes of DS9. Always wheeling and dealing, always making some means and some good, happy profits and, generating stories in the process. However, prior to me, people tended to call it Cargosia. There's actually a few old memes of that. There's a famous meme where a guy's wearing the hat of like a pasha or a sultan, and someone's saying, call shuttle, and the guy's like, no. And, there's a Hail Cargosia thing in the background. But yeah, we are near bankruptcy, and we need to go down to the planet and fight something. But, that being said, I've been kind of a fixture, you could say, in that community for a long while. It's kind of weird. Oh boy. Oh, no, defend a VIP, huh? Alright, fuck it. We'll do it. It's fighting the Drax, so very least I can get some honor. Yeah, alright. That's who we got. Everyone else is in the hospital. By the way, I rebuilt this Whitworth. It's got Thunderbolt 5s now because I found ammo for Thunderbolt 5s. Not 15s. Been looking for those. As far as it goes, it's odd looking back at stuff. Because while I have been a spaceman for a long time, spaceman, I've also tried to make sure I was a good member of the community. Never metacomming, never trying my hardest not to meta grudge, though I'm sure that bled through once or twice. Certainly making sure to put the right way forward, showing people how to play the game. And for people who don't understand why I'm so passionate about the game, to me, Space Station 13 and 14 is getting there. It's a little shallow right now, but it's getting there. It's like Sandlot baseball, where the points and the score doesn't matter, but it's the love of the game. There's this magical thing when everything's working the way it should. And everybody kind of knows their job. And a few of the tides, a few of the big popularity moves kind of changed that a bit. Oh my god, fucking VIPs. Wow. The Legion of Vega is yelling at us? Fuck you, how's that? Jeez, hold out for reinforcements, defend the base. The engineer APCs will be here soon. There's Defender Urban Mech. Wow, that's not bad. I mean, yeah. Alright. You know what? I'm gonna wait. Yeah, Vega. We talked about them in the video. Ah, boy. Alright, so let's see who's attacking. Jinner and a javelin. I'll blow them up.
Roger.
It's kind of weird being a spaceman, because I always wanted to make sure that, you know, the old ways were taught to the new people. Alright, let's see. What are we gonna do? Thunderbolt's pretty badass, so we're just gonna go over here. Oh wait, those people aren't escorting, those people are attacking my convoy. But you know what? Oh, I'm not gonna hurt the Irby, that seems mean. Alright, let's go over here. 0.9% chance to hit. Yeah, well, you know what? I just need to let them know I'm here. See, there we go.
That's a miss.
I know, but it made me feel better.
Standing by.
Ah, boy. But yeah, it's kind of strange. And then you look back at stuff that you've done in videos. I mean, God, Tex Talks Battletech started off as a shitpost, and then, well, I mean, good goddamn.
Negative damage.
And then, the thing that I really am proud about, if I am allowed to show a little pride, just a little,
Standing by.
is that we've managed to raise a fucking fortune for charity over the years. I don't mean like a little bit of money, but easily upwards of over $500,000.
Negative damage.
And not just faceless charities, but I've also been able to help people. Like one of the game stores I used to go to a lot, one of the primary dudes at the game store lost his leg and horribly needed help in the aftercare, and we took care of that like in a day. George Ledoux needed help with his house, or he was probably going to lose it, and a lot of bad things happened after a storm, and we helped with that. In fact, we've helped multiple houses. We've helped people who were going to lose their homes or go homeless. People I've never met, in fact. One of them was an admin for like Goon Station. I'd never met this person, ever. But I'd known them as a good admin. And so when I heard their house was in trouble, we leapt into action.
On the move.
Hell, we've even buried people. And it's just one of those things where you realize that when your goofy little hobby lets you do all these things, you know,
Double time.
it's a sense of achievement. And I know that some people would ask for more, because a lot of people are really greedy. They go, well, right, Tex, but what if you put all that money, that $500,000 in your pocket, you know? What if you did all this stuff to make just profit and merch and all these other things? And I'm like, right, but then I wouldn't have the friends I have or the experiences I do. Because I realized at a young age, maybe very rough upbringing, but I realized at a young age that I'm not going to live forever, you know? Like, you're going to die someday. Nobody gets out of this alive. And so I became very, very interested in the ideas of doing things that shape the world in a better way. Because you're not, you know, I mean, you're not going to be like king of earth. You're not going to go out there and make decrees that make the world a better place.
Firing.
But, hold on, let's see if these connect. Ooh. You're not going to be able to unilaterally make the world a better place just by saying so. But you can make a dent, and you can go around and correct things. And the beautiful thing about all this YouTube stuff
Yes, Commander.
is I've found other like-minded people who are like, yeah, you're right. You know what? We should do this. We should help somebody. What's kind of wild about it is you end up in this position where I look over and I go, well, hell, if me, and I am a nobody, I'm a grade D YouTuber. I don't even stream every day. I don't have a VTuber avatar. None of that stuff. Hell, I even pay my staff well. I'm a grade D nobody. But as a grade D nobody, I'm going to say this. Oh, hell yeah, my turrets are coming online. is a great D nobody. If I can do this, if I can make this happen, if I can make charity happen and in a small way help bring a part of Battletech back, if I can do all of these things, which on their own are humble and small, but as an aggregation are certainly a big splash, why can't we all do that, right? Because that's the question I want to ask. I don't want to pat myself on the back. That's dumb. And it hurts because my shoulder's bad. But what I want to ask is like, well, if I as a nobody can do this, why aren't the big guys doing this? Because if you go look at these YouTubers on top, they make 20, 50, $100 million a year. You look at the big streamers, they can make 10, 20, 30 million dollars a year. They'll do maybe a $500,000 charity once a decade, and people clap, and that's fine. But why not do lasting good, you know? That's just my question. All right, let's see. What next?
Awaiting orders.
Well, they seem to just be kind of sitting up on the high ground, so I'm going to go over here with my cheap tank from Quicksell, the makers of Hetzer.
Affirmative.
Though they really didn't design the Bulldog, there's a whole story behind that. I'll get to it someday. I have a plan to do a guide to vehicles. I just have to find the time and the resources. So, here's another point. I know a lot of you probably put this in your back screen while you're painting. Don't freak out. I'm not trying to talk to you through the screen or anything. I'm not crazy. Well, a little crazy. But I just want to talk to all the people who are actually paying attention right now. All the people out there, which I presume, considering how kind of shit YouTube is, I have 120,000 subscribers. I'm presuming maybe 1 in 6, 1 in 7 is actually going to see this update. And maybe half might check on it. And that is the way of the modern world, and that's fine. But I'm going to speak to everyone who is watching.
Firing.
So, here's the thing. I found, if not rationalized, many years ago on YouTube, a different way of doing stuff. And I think it may be a cheat code to push back against all this bullshit. So, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of creators and whatever, they have to constantly seek new people. They have to constantly drive, line go up. They have to constantly be in the churn. I'm competing against this person. I'm competing against that person. I'm competing against this person. All this other nonsense. And all they do is eat themselves. They don't seek a path to bring them to their greater virtues. They don't seek a path to bring them to the higher tier of art they're trying to make. They don't find the tools to be successful. Instead, they just find themselves in a constant churn. I have to put content out every day. I have to engage with people on social media every day. I have to do all these things every day. And it's just a churn. It's noise. It's not music, it's noise. So I've been this big contender of saying, don't do that. Don't just feed the algorithm. Don't give these idiots money or your time. Make your art, whatever it is, and then move on. By the way, fuck this guy. Hopefully one of those counts as hit. But make your beautiful art and move on. And if it's supported or not, who cares? Make it, right?
Receiving you.
And the thing is that over the years I've been trying to help people see that, like Doom made of cardboard and what have you, and the algorithm certainly hates what I do and what a lot of my friends do, because what we do is not exactly, commercialized. I'm not here to sell you a fucking loot box once a month. I'm not here to sell you razors or, ball trimmers or shampoo or soap or mattresses or whatever. gamer powder. What is that? Where you add water and you're like, oh, it's jungle juice or something. I'm not here to do that because I think that shows contempt for the audience. I mean, yeah, I may die poor, but I won't be known as the merchant. What I'm saying is, I think I found a way of doing things, which is just saying no. Every day I open my Gmail, and there are like a dozen things saying, hey, Black Pants Legion. That's how I know that they don't know who I am. They say, hey, Black Pants Legion, or it'll say, hey, Pants Legion, comma, black. Seriously, it'll be like that, and it'll say, if you do the following things, you know, you could be a very powerful person. And I'm like, no? Sounds like a Faustian bargain, and by email, no less, which is very disappointing. Very disappointing indeed. Oh, God. There's so many attempts to just sell stuff, so here's largely what I'm getting at. What if, as a content creator, instead of trying to reach the whole world, everyone and their mother, everyone and their sister, everyone and their brother, what if instead of trying to do that and sell some t-shirts or whatever, what if you instead found the audience, whatever the size it may be, that liked you for you and made stuff for them? What if? Certainly you wouldn't be the most popular person in the world, but you would never feel compelled to make things for strangers who do not appreciate you, nor to lie or deceive them because it is commercially necessary. See? Easy, moral, pays you reasonably, kind of, sometimes, never, but you know what I mean. You're never going to be rich doing a hobby, but you keep things in the realm of fun. And I think a lot of people forget that. Hobbies should be fun. A lot of people play with hobbies and they think that it needs to automatically turn a crank and make them money. I'm like, no. There's plenty of people who go and throw themselves into community theater for 20, 30 years, never draw a paycheck for it, but can say, I was Macbeth. There's a certain joy in being able to do a performance.
Let her rip.
Maybe I'm old-fashioned. Now, the one thing I have to point out is the caveat, and this is kind of the caveat of being a whittle guy in the grand age of YouTube. Uh-oh. Where's that hurt coming from? This does feel like the Legion of Vega, getting assaulted by Urban Mech and Javelin and Sad. Ah, boy. Alright, well, you still get some nice loot, but kind of disappointing. Wow. Right in front of my bulldog.
Damage minimal.
But the one thing that is the challenge in all this is that while it is cool to say that you have principles and all this other stuff, you still have to pay your people if you're going to run a sophisticated production. And all this money, of course, doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from people like you. And I posit, I know it's very unlikely, I posit, even though, again, it is extremely unlikely, but is a what if. What if all of those 100,000, 120 some thousand subscribers gave me $1 a month? How many movies a year do you think I'd make? I'm just saying as a crazy what if. Not to suggest people give me more money. I am more than content with what I have, but as a what if. Because the reason I ask that is I think we're getting to an era where people are increasingly dissatisfied with the kind of offerings of mainstream large studio productions. Sometimes the large studios get it just right and it's wonderful and it's a good movie, but often enough it feels unsatisfying for a number of reasons. You'll find that the movie just is bloated and over budget with way too much CGI and not enough story, or that the writing is terrible, or that just so on and so forth. Just movies that are blurs. You're like, oh, did you see Latest Thing? Latest Thing was okay. You know, it's not really something that's even worth renting. But imagine if we could live in an era where you could crowdfund small studios, like mine, but not necessarily mine, hundreds of small studios, to churn out oceans of good movies made by people who still love them. Because I know a lot. Oh, is that an Owens? Because I want it now. I want the Owens. Bring the Owens to me. Javelin, Stinger. All right, I'm just taking a look, making sure nobody's sneaking in. Oh, yep, see. Stiletto. Ah, God. Yeah, I'm going to have to pivot. These guys over here are about to get clowned on, so I'll be fine. But it's kind of interesting. I like the idea of having a million small studios all working together to make a more varied and intriguing product. Oh boy, they're already going after the buildings.
Yes, Commander.
Because the issue is when you do have a large conglomeration of studio making a thing, you end up with a lot of
Target confirmed.
because it's trying to appeal to everybody. You know, it's trying to reach, again, like a YouTuber, the 100% of the market. And so it's just kind of bland, you know? I'm not saying that action movies need to be, like, perfect, because a lot of them are, you know, I mean, there's charm in how stupid they are. Oh, yeah, Urban Mac? All right, time to die. Sorry, Irby. I got his AC-10, so I can just leave him to walk around and be sad.
Let's get this done.
All right, now I need to rotate north because they are actually going to destroy my buildings. And what are my defenses? Light laser turret, light LRM turret. I want that Owens. I want it.
Yep.
Ah. All right, let's see. Jenner. Okay. It's gonna be a Hail Mary, but let's go ahead and try. Ooh. Oh my God. That is such an amazing long shot. Good job, boys. You're not gonna do much. No. Okay, let's see. What is it? Oh, the light laser turret, not doing a good job. Why would you even have a light laser turret? Virtually everything outranges it. Leave me alone. Stop shooting my buildings. These Quonset huts are full of oranges. These oranges are the government's oranges. You leave me alone.
Orders?
All right, let's see. We're gonna go over here and just put hate on him. Pour some laser on this guy.
Affirmative.
Let him know to stop fucking with my oranges. Oranges are hard to come by on Desert Planet. That's why we have to fight. All right, let's see. We're just gonna keep walking.
On my way.
Now, as you can see, they've got some guy. 12%. Boy. You know what? Let's Hail Mary. Come on. Come on, I believe. Oh my, I'm pulling this shit off today. All you have to say is I believe and things happen. No, please don't go out there and say that in the real world. Because in the real world, if you say, all I have to say is I believe and things happen, then you'll go buy like 20 lottery tickets and be out money. Don't do it. Please. Save your money for later. And don't give it to me. Just, well, if I must say anything, go find a creator to back. who makes stuff and loves what they make. Because I think if we get closer to that notion of loving the things you create and loving the creative process and loving having a hobby to make things, and it's not about the money, but just the opportunity to make stuff and share it with the world, make really cool art. I think if we find and encourage as many people who do that, we'll be in a better place, and we'll get away from this stuff, you know? Because again, I'm not trying to say that I understand why modern movies are good or bad or whatever. I'm no film critic. But what I can say is that a lot of them are forgettable. Because I find that a lot of movies are just, 90% CGI of things happening. And the plot points and the writing and the characters and everything else just fall by the wayside. And it's just, wow, look at these things that move around, and it treats the audience like they're 5. Well, actually more like a toddler. It's like jangling keys in someone's face. Please don't destroy my oranges. I need them.
Standing by.
All right, I'm going to go up here and kill this person.
On the move.
Because I can't have him up here shooting stuff anymore. Alright, Bulldog. You're mostly a good tank. Go. Zip zap. By the way, I was driving in traffic the other day. And I saw this lady driving along in one of those nicely broken in old shit boxes.
Show me your wall.
You know what I mean by nicely broken in, right? It's just cozy looking. It's got all the patina and the faded paint. Not rust, but just cozy. The car is cozy. You can tell it squeaks and rattles, but nothing's broken. And the license plate said Dark Elf. And I was like, oh man. I should have gone with Drow, but I understand. That would be harder to explain.
I missed.
And then I drove past and I had to look at him. Because I was like, what kind of person drives this car? It says Dark Elf. It's exactly the kind of person you think. Just exactly the kind of, nerdy girl stereotype. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And I smiled and laughed in traffic, which is rare because it's traffic and I want to scream. So, I just wanted to share that positive moment. Exactly who you thought.
Go. On my way.
All right, Whitworth, let's see. Oh, they got the oh, yeah. They're bringing out everything, eh? You know what? I really want to see if I can really tee off with these Thunderbolts.
Copy that.
50%. That's good enough. That's not a hit. That might... No. Damn. This must be what Lockheed Martin feels like. Come on, 50%, good enough, fire. Man. He came out from cover. He really doesn't like that. No. Oh, they have a mech over here. What is this? 35 tons?
What's up, boss?
All right, let's get going. All right, Ramblers, let's get rambling.
Going full throttle.
Here we go. Let's see. 22, 28. You know what? Fuck you. It's an enforcer. That is worth taking.
Good to go.
I've heard heard the enforcer being referred to, and I know it's not true, but it is kind of funny. One of my friends said it's the store brand Centurion. I was like, oh, man. But yeah, Centurion's the one that everyone likes, just mainly because, one, in standard, you get a AC-10 and an LRM-10 together, so you get 2 decent weapons on a medium mech. It's pretty tough. And the other thing is, the reason more people take the Centurion is because the Centurion just looks cool. It's got that whole Roman shit going on, and people are like, yeah, man, it's cool. But the Enforcer's also a good mech, so if I can take that, I'm gonna take that. If enough parts survive, that is, which is a question mark. Yeah, that Javelin's really not having a good day. So they've got some good cover. I'm wondering why that Jenner's not running at full speed up here, because he could get a lot of evasion. And we have another lance coming from over here, 30 ton. Okay, support max looks like. I'm going to make a beeline for that Enforcer, and I'm going to clap everything in the way. I'm going to let the APCs do whatever, but I am going to believe that they're probably going to take down one of the buildings at least. But yeah, they have dumped out a barrel of monkeys on me. Do kids still play that game, Barrel of Monkeys? Am I suddenly old? Okay, for those of you who don't know what it is it's a game where you have a bunch of plastic monkeys in a barrel, and their arms linked together, and you try to see how many you can link together, I guess. It's kind of a simplistic game. I first played it when I was a little kid, but then we picked it up in college because it's a fun drinking game, because you notice how someone's hand-eye coordination becomes very suspect very quickly. Oh, what? We have more. A Kintaro? I desire this Kintaro. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. Hold on. Kill. Yep, fall down. Go ahead, fall down. Fall. No. Damn it. I desire this Kintaro. The Enforcer maybe as well. But the Kintaro is, man, that thing is good. The Kintaro is a great way of introducing like 80, 90 missiles into an opponent's backside all at once.
Commander.
They're fantastic for that. Yes, I desire this Kintaro.
I copy.
Oh boy.
Let's hit him hard.
Here we go. Wow. He biffed it. I mean, they're really trying, I'll give him that. But he biffed it. Alright, let's see. Not good odds. Nah. Yep. Damn. A Kintaro. Ooh. I want a piece of him. Kintaro's a solid mech. Oh, yeah, we finally blapped the guy back here. The reason the Kintaro is great also is just because of it being so missile forward. Fill them all with SRMs firing infernos, and you can just drive around and go shopping. You can be like, oh, wow, that's a nice Atlas. Kintaro fires a few volleys of SRM inferno, and it's your Atlas. Now, the old pilot might be a little bit mummified, but that's okay. You know. But yeah, it's a really good way of stealing stuff as a mercenary. It's just SRM Inferno. You know what's weird? They always try to defend these bases with like short-range laser turrets and stuff. Wonder why they don't defend these bases with, oh, I don't know, AMS systems. I mean, where's their little Iron Dome? Why isn't that working?
Engaging with target.
That popped the structure open.
Commander. Roger.
Blackjack on point, which is something you never hear.
On it.
All right, come on. Yeah, I'm eating his armor. Okay, the light little tanks are coming over to help. Air quotes. These guys over here, I'm gonna have to I'm thinking of running the Demolisher over here just to stop them. Demolisher is a great chalk to put under the enemy's feet. It'll make them fall down. Okay, here comes the Enforcer. Ooh, yeah, he found out that Blackjack is gonna go toe-to-toe with nobody. Blackjacks are not that tough. That's why they're very okay. But they're also just a good +1 to most battle forces because they have a lot of firepower. They're just not very, anyways, let's see. All right.
Locked on target.
Right arm destroyed.
Target taken a critical hit.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he'd blow up. I thought somebody would have just bonked his weapons off and then he'd have to run around and think about what he'd done.
They've got a sensor lock on me.
Good. Don't shoot at the buildings. I want that Enforcer, possibly that Kintaro. I think I can get the Enforcer. The Kintaro I'm not certain on. Okay, here we go. Seems my allies believe that the Enforcer is as well a severe target. Uh-oh. Yeah, I may need to pivot and attack. This newer lance is a little heavier. That's why I brought the Demolisher. You want to fight a tank, do you?
Standing by.
Okie dokie. Fire. Hey, I hit him. Go me. Go gun stabilization.
Standing by.
My name is Chuckles, and this isn't funny. No, alright, let's see.
Roger.
Alright, we are there. You know what? Fucking, why not?
Engaging target.
Oh, hell yes.
Let's go.
Well gambled. Now there is a philosophy in this. When it comes down to
Yep.
big guns and BattleTech, I know a lot of people try to keep and hold shots for that perfect moment.
Targeting for an out.
And then there's hunchback pilots, where it's like that which crosses the crosshairs shall not move beyond them. The crosshairs become, in essence, like the river Styx. It's just like, oh, a gyro crit, that's nice. It's just there's things that move before the crosshairs, and as soon as they touch it, it is like, be gone. They can't help themselves. I fall into that category. I will be shooting until I can't. If you hold shit back, you will regret not shooting in BattleTech 9 times out of 10. It's fine to miss, but not shooting at all is pretty bad. All right, let's see.
Receiving you. Moving out.
Yeah. Pretty good odds. And I've set him on fire, which will help a little bit. I mean, fire is a big ally. Of all the things you could have on your side, fire is probably one of the better ones. Okay, the Owen's coming out. Oh boy. All right, you know what? Swing for the fences. Come on. Nope. Yes.
Target's taking a critical hit.
He ejected. He got 2 parts. Not enough to make a whole one, but it's a start. I'm just gonna go cry in the corner now.
Standing by.
I wonder what they got. Kintaro, and then this 55 tonner in the back, which I don't know. Kintaro.
Confirmed.
3 large laser. I mean, the Owens is here, and then they got the Jenner here. I don't think those are going to last, because I think my allies are going to come up and sweep them off the field. So I'm going to pivot and turn toward the new guys with the rounds that are remaining. I do have the lion's share of the salvage, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to walk away with a full and complete mag. Which is one of the more annoying mechanics of Battletech 2018. I know with Rogue Tech you can modify it to where it's like, if you get a part, you can build it. I find that a bit too easy. I think you should be able to salvage the structure and then rebuild off it, and it should cost a lot of money. But it's an investment. So you pummel it to dirt, and, you know, a lot of the systems are broken, but you can get the structure, which is almost unkillable, and then reinforce, repair that, and then slowly, put in the engine, put in the right stuff, and it takes a while, but if you can go find the engine and the missiles and all the other parts you need, yeah, you're in business. But it's all in how to kind of make things work. I mean, it's a mechanic. It's not a perfect one, but it's all right. Because I look at mech repair in the same way I look at main battle tank repair, or hell, looking at a car in somebody's backyard. You know, you'd go, oh yeah, that's Granddad's Camaro. It's like, I bet you could get a handful of people with know-how. Oh man, actuator, no.
That hit something. Something important.
Yeah, I know. The something's connected to the something. That's very important.
Aye, aye.
All right.
Taking the shot.
Go Bulldog. Yay!
Let's do this.
All right, here we go.
Yep.
I'm going to have the Demolisher just sort this person out. Let's go ahead and see them out, shall we?
Locked on target.
Damn. I was hoping one of those would connect. Yeah, that Owens is seemingly going to just sit back there and hang out, which I understand. Maybe this isn't their scene, right? Alright, what do we got in the bag? Wolverine? Oh, that would be so exciting.
Confirmed.
Wolverine's a great mag. I may just win on rounds, unless they stack pole in one of these buildings. That would be bad.
Receiving you.
Oh, here we go. Choices, choices. Oh, that's not bad. That's, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's take him out.
Confirmed.
Did any of those hit? I know the explosions look close, but I don't think they did. I think I just treated him to fireworks.
Good to go.
Let's see. Oh? Let's have some fun, shall we?
Copy that.
Oh, Blackjack. Let's see. Kintaro. Alright. Gin or no? Yeah, get melted.
Hot damn. Let's do this. Scored a critical hit.
Take that, little mech. Actually, Jinner's probably one of the mechs to be genuinely terrified over. I've never had a good experience with ignoring a Jinner. Because if they disappear, they're up to something. It's not a good time.
Here we go.
Okay, and missed. Probably killed some birds in the next county, but whatever. Alright, that Wolverine's coming on in. I kind of want the Wolverine as well, but if wishes were fishes, right? Alright, let's see. I don't want them to destroy my buildings because it's a mission failure, and we're about to have a throwdown all around these buildings, so this is where it's going to start to get weird. Kintaro. Oh god. Structure exposed. Turret destroyed. Alright, alright, alright. Come on, allies. Blow him up. I'm probably gonna focus down that Kintaro. I will probably be able to kill it far faster than anything else. Alright. Well, far faster than the Wolverine. See that Owen's up there? He's minding its own business. He doesn't care.
Affirmative.
So I'm going to shoot at him a little with the bulldog.
Copy that.
Let him know I'm thinking of him.
Aye, aye.
Alright, Devastator is in range. The Death Star is in firing range. Let's see. Wolverine, I choose you.
Taking the shot.
Alright, missed, but he knows I'm in the game.
On it.
Oh boy, what do we got here? Alright. Wolverine, I choose you.
This should be good.
You got a lot of lasers, and incendiary is the way to go.
Orders. Move order received.
The not a normal Whitworth. Let's see. Ooh, those are really good odds. Let's do that.
Copy that.
Another hit like that, and he's going to have open structure. I know they're the Whittle Thunderbolts, but they're Thunderbolts. Okay, the Owens is coming off the hill. He sees some back meat that needs harvesting. And he just had a meltdown for it. But, I mean, you know. Well, okay, it's not a meltdown. It's a fusion plant. But, you know, it's a turn of phrase. He's boiling over. I gave him the cab ass there. Ooh, yeah, Blackjack is not a real frontline combatant. Usually you want to use these things like toasters where they pop up, fire, and then go back down. Trampoline fighting.
Yes, Commander.
All right, look. This guy wants to play. Griffin's coming up to play. Hi, how's it going? Called shot because he shut down. I'm gonna try to shoot him in the head. I think that'll be fun.
Target confirmed.
Structure exposed. So I mean, I did do something, but probably didn't hit him in the head. That being said, yeah, he's boiling over bad. But yeah, those Owens are also really good mechs. Oh, and he just exploded from the fire, the overheats and whatnot, and then that guy shooting. Oh, the combination of owies stacks up. Because sometimes if you have a fire for a bit and you overheat and all these other things, you have all that internal damage, and all it takes is one good bonk to fall over because everything on the inside is already ruined. So when you see people start to take internal damage, keep pressing on that fight. Sooner you're going to have one of those blow-through criticals that just makes things magic. Fantastic. I love when stuff starts stacking like that. Who knows what parts we'll get, but I doubt it'll be enough to build a full anything. Wish I could find a king crab part. Because I do have 2 parts of a king crab. But yeah, I like the good old boy redneck take on things. I think that if I went to like rural Alabama and I went out and said, hey, in any small town, who could help me get this old Corvette running, I'd have enough people who would be able to get that thing running. Maybe not race perfect, but running competently enough to where I could then take it or drive it longer distance to somebody who could make it perfect. And that's just choosing a random state that has a rural population. And that's the level of knowledge inherent. So I think that in the periphery, you could probably take bits and bobs of mech and get things running. Would they be perfect? No. I mean, obviously, a lot of the stuff we'd have would be probably hobnobbed together pretty poorly. You'd have a lot of Frankenmechs, but still, I think you would run into a lot of really, really good success stories of just bringing stuff back from the garbage heap. Oh, alright. I guess the enemy just powers down and leaves. They're like, oh, it's clock out time. We're done. Wrap it up, boys. We're out of here. I mean, yeah, we had some oopsies. See, enforcer parts. There's enough to make a Jenner or a Javelin. But I don't want one of those. But I do want the Urban Mech parts. I'll take the MRM ammo. You know what? Confirm. They'll just give me everything else anyways. God damn it. I wanted a full mech, but they would not give me one. But yeah, I think I'll have enough to go on. I'll sell the rest for scrap and grab some more weapons and we'll go again. The Thunderbolt 5s are alright, but I do miss my MRM-40. I think that is the way to go with the Whitworth Wall of Missiles approach. At any rate, that's the end of this episode. Thanks for letting me ramble. Talk with you guys later. And please, be safe and take care of each other if you can. Later.
I started my tour out in October of '49. I joined a good company thinking that things would be fine. Went out to war and was hoping for riches and fame. But I'm now back in Van Zandt and planners are squarely to blame. I guess you could say that my gunnery was perfectly fine. I did my part and I managed to just hold the line. But the bastards kept coming, hitting us time and again. I'm now back in Van Zandt and planners, they are to blame. I've managed to do my part and I just can't complain. War's always hell, but there's always canopus cocaine. I was invincible, never once gave it to pain. But I'm right back in Van Zandt and planners are surely to blame. I set out for glory and fought battles among the stars. But fate offered less, all I've got now scars. All I can do is just sit back thinking over my pain. I'm I'm square back in Van Zandt, and planners are surely to blame. An urban Mac is above everything awfully slow. And there's one thing about it that you probably know. An AC-10 doesn't do anything without good aim. So I'm square back in Van Zandt, and this time I am to blame.